GitHub has launched a new program that aims to let the developers using its platform offer financial support to one another via recurring monthly sponsorship payments. At first blush, the GitHub-sponsored crowdfunding option is similar to other tiered monthly pledge platforms, like Patreon. Developers are able to set up different levels of support that offer benefits in exchange for meeting a minimum pledge, and those payments are set to repeat on a monthly basis. One notable difference about GitHub's new built-in platform, however, is that the Microsoft-owned company is not taking platform fees out of each pledge, and will cover payment processing fees for GitHub sponsors' first year. During that time, the company is also matching all contributions up to $5,000. Currently, only select GitHub users are able to receive sponsorships, though the company plans to roll the service out to all developers on the platform in the future, no matter their discipline. In Part 1 we learned how to manage when events can appear. With those in mind, let's look at the variety of gameplay events. Anything could be considered a quest. Having quest and activity labels help to separate highly authored content from recurring content. Quests are the tentpoles to a game. Finishing one gives players the feeling they are closer to a story's finale. They usually involve one more gameplay verbs, objectives, story threads, and possibly cutscenes. When a player chooses to start a quest, all other available quests and some game events are disabled. When a player fails to complete a quest, it can usually be restarted. Quest types. This scripted series of encounters come in a variety of flavors. Campaign quests. These are critical to finishing the main story endgame, sometimes called the Golden Path. Side quests related to the main story. These are optional and not required to complete the campaign. Access to them may be conditional to other events. Sequel or follow-up quests are a flavor of this. Agenda quest. Optional stories, unrelated to the main story, usually featuring a regional contact, a quest giver. This should not be confused with DLC. Consider DLC chapters their own campaign arc. Found quest. A single narrative discovered without a quest giver, like finding a map leading to treasure. Content production is usually lighter, relying more on text, pictures, and stage tracking instead of new characters, dialogue, or cutscene animations. Quest arc. A series of quests related to a long-term objective. Activities are smaller for more specific game experiences, not typically as grand or finite as a quest. They attract players with a change of pace and more consistent rewards. Good activities spotlight a gameplay feature. Finishing an activity increases resources, but does not add to the feeling of finishing the main storyline. All of them should influence or be influenced by the player's story, providing fictional relevance. As a general rule, an activity is unlocked for ongoing access through an introduction quest. This one-time introduction may be a prerequisite for unlocking the next critical quest. Activity types. Like quests, these have several types to consider. Challenge. These repeatable scenarios involve single goals to gain a single reward, a chance to exercise a game feature or mechanic. They have explicit locations to start them. Examples include shooting ranges, gambling, and time trials. Some of these appear on the to-do map once unlocked, like a chop shop for account theft requests. Others appear systemically, depending on the world state, like a roaming pink limo for car theft. Permanently available if a specific requirement is not depleted or filled. Opportunities are like small quests that replenish over time. Conditional in nature. This appears systemically based on the world state. If the player fails to complete the objective, it does not automatically become available again. The player needs to discover a new instance of it in the game world. These opportunities can unlock other events related to its story and the eventual goal, but they are not to be considered a larger quest. An example of this would be encountering bounty hunters with a captive. From Red Dead Redemption 2, you can choose to free the captive, or take the captive in for the bounty. If something involves checkpoints or multiple objectives, consider it a quest. Push if players are ignoring quests, activities, or simply do not interact with the world. A push event will pop nearby to grab their attention and luring them back into the game loop. For example, a gang ambushes the player, a priest shares a donation, a saving a friend, or the boss appears and reveals information about the next quest. Naturally a conditional event. A push event should never directly engage players if they are standing idle or using the game menu. Point-based. Some types are not marked on a map or even an explicit encounter. Some activities are changes in stats or help players use game currency. Investments satisfy long-term motivation for players with an item or upgrade in the game. For example, modifying an ability in our vehicle, buying a safe house, clothes, or better weapons. Tally how players impact the world can be looked at as a series of statistics. These raw numbers can be used to create more gameplay rewards to unlock more content. For example, knock out 10 cars, steal 10 armored cars, or purchase 5 businesses. Quickly exchange small values on a player. It can satisfy the immediate macro compulsion loops. Do something to get something. For example, looting an APB or drinking a health potion. Activity arc. Activity results can influence future activities. Most point-based activities pay off throughout the game. For example, 10 headshots unlock the next gun expert perk. A simple script managing variables in activities can be influenced by external data, like player statistics. A common use of this involves spawn count, a type of enemy. It can also trigger additional scripts to create rewards for completing a series of related activities. For example, players could hijack on the supply trucks anytime they are available. After the third successful event, those trucks now feature 2 armed drivers, making it more difficult to hijack them. After the 5th successful event, the drop-off destination is surrounded by enemy gang members. After the 9th successful event, players are rewarded with the trucking business and now collect money from truck shipments. In this example, the weapon truck opportunity would be removed from the game director queue. At that specific area, they might appear in another town or neighborhood. It might unlock a new series of hijack opportunities, such as armored cars. Another example is hunting in the original Red Dead Redemption. If the player skins certain animals, his huntsman rank increases. Upon completing rank 10, he gains the ability to create a health kit. He can still hunt and gain the immediate reward afterwards. But there are no more meat challenges involving the hunting activity. Not every event needs to be grand and gilded. The vignette is an ambient event, which may or may not even involve gameplay. Players may see this as the world is alive while exploring. Some could lead to a quest or activity. This can be similar to a point-changing quickie event. Those tend to be systemic though, only expressed by actions and relevant to changing some statistic. The vignette, on the other hand, has a narrative purpose, which may not even have a change in point values. When you understand what's attractive to players in the minute, hour, and day, it can help give clarity to a game event. Murky game design and objectives can be the downfall to an otherwise exceptional team effort. Car loop. the common gravy to any game. It exercising the primary game words through a series of encounters. Using action shooters as an example, their card loop can involve shooting, stealth, cover, and sometimes vehicles. Common objectives can be expressed with these categories. Meet a loop. Spending more time simply in the game can provide you with bucks. It's usually a slow but steady rise in rewards. Exploring all aspects of the game. For example,